Hey, am I an alcoholic? Dr. Parker here. In my profession, I have to deal with this question a lot. People want to know if they're an alcoholic. A lot of times, it's really more the spouse wants to know if their husband or wife is an alcoholic, or a parent may want to know if their child is an alcoholic, whether the child is a teenager or an adult. And quite often, it's the courts asking the question, is this guy an alcoholic or not? Now, the funny thing is, you would think that if we're asking the question, then the answer is obvious. But quite a few people want to then argue if somebody says they're an alcoholic, they want to deny it and they want to defend it or they want to minimize. And they say, hey, I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics can't control the drinking. I can control my drinking, so I'm not an alcoholic. Or they'll say they just like to have a couple to unwind at the end of the day, or it's the weekend and I'm not hurting anybody. So, what's the big deal? I'm not an alcoholic. Well, and when we start talking about actual symptoms and things, I find it really just kind of boils down into an argument with the client. So I just ask my client to consider a couple of things. First of all, let's look at what heavy drinking is. Now, when I say heavy drinking, people often deny, no, I'm not a heavy drinker. But according to the National Alcohol Institute and Alcohol Abuse, or the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration, when we're defining heavy drinking, what we're talking about is consuming 4 to 5 drinks inside of 2 hours, or drinking to the point of having a blood alcohol content of 0.08, which is, in most states, the legal limit to get yourself a DUI if you're driving. So if you drink to 0.08 or have 4 to 5 drinks in less than 2 hours, you are engaged in heavy drinking. Heavy alcohol use is defined as more than 4 drinks on any one day of a week, or 14 drinks inside of a week. Now, for women, that's just a little bit more of a number. 3 drinks at once inside of one day is considered heavy drinking, or 7 drinks per week. Now, there is a category called high intensity drinking, and that's simply double those numbers above. So, what does all this mean for you? Well, let's look at it this way. Think about this. 70% of Americans had 1 drink last year. 55% of Americans had 1 drink in the last month. 25% of Americans engaged in binge drinking inside the past month. And remember, that's consuming 4 to 5 beers in a 2-hour period or getting to 0.08. So only 25% of Americans out there actually did that. And 6% of Americans engaged in the heavy alcohol use inside the last month. So if you're drinking more than 4 drinks on any one day per week, or more than 14 drinks inside of a week, you are now engaged in a behavior that only 6% of Americans do. 94% of Americans don't drink the way you drink alcohol. Think about it. So again, forget the symptoms. Which of those categories did you fall in? Here's another way to look at it. Think about your use of alcohol. Now, replace alcohol with any other substance you like to consume, something like Pepsi or Gatorade, and then see if it still makes sense. So imagine this sentence. My wife is always after me to stop drinking Gatorade. I don't have a problem with drinking. I only drink Pepsi on Friday and Saturday nights. That's it. You know, I am really getting tired of people telling me to stop drinking Pepsi. I was arrested once because I had way too many Pepsis. I've lost a job because of my Gatorade use. You know, I make sure I don't drink Gatorade during the day or on a night before I have to go to work. You know, after work, sometimes on the way home, I stop off and knock back a couple of Gatorades with my friends just to take the edge off the day. When my children see that I've been drinking Pepsi, they stay away from me. I've considered joining a support group because of how much Pepsi I drink. I've been too embarrassed to look at my children because of how much Gatorade I drink. You know, there have been some mornings where I just could not get out of bed because of how much Gatorade I drank the night before. If I'm out with people, I have a Gatorade or two just to help me kind of be able to talk to everybody. I know you're right. I know my life would be so much simpler if I would just stop drinking Pepsi. So, are you an alcoholic or not? Does the label really matter that much when you think about how much you're actually using alcohol compared to everybody else? Are you in that 6% category? And do you use alcohol in a way that is interfering with your life, interfering with your marriage, interfering with your ability to be able to go to work, interfering with your ability to be a good parent? Those are the important questions. Whether or not you fit into some specific category of alcoholism or not alcoholism is really kind of irrelevant at the end of the day. So play back through this video, listen to those categories, listen to those excuses, see if they make sense to you, and you decide if you're an alcoholic or not. Think about it. Change how you think.